Hello, and welcome back to the latest episode of the Grumble and Grouch Show. I'm Grumble, once again, here with Grouch. What-a-do? And we just finished watching, this is going to be a twofer with this episode.
Oh my God.
We watched two movies for our subscribers and Patreon members.
Hi, Mom.
We just watched Joker 2. And
Well, we had been watched Joker 2. We just weren't able to get together to do the show.
We had seen it. And Joker 2, the name is Joker 2 Folie à deux.
I can tell you didn't take French in high school, bro. Folie à deux. That's how you say it.
How do you say it?
Folie à deux.
Okay. And it means madness for two. And so we watched that and smiled too. And to be honest, I thought Joker 2 was truly worthy of the name unwatchable.
And guys, for the first time ever,
Yeah.
hold on to your seats. Me and Grumble disagree.
I thought this movie was, from beginning to end, horrendous.
And I actually enjoyed it.
I can't believe that. Yeah, I was ready to walk out about halfway through. The singing and the dancing, I had enough. It was terrible. I mean, I'm not a big musical guy to begin with, but
and I love Hamilton.
yeah,
Top 10.
Hamilton, that was pretty bad too.
I love it.
Yeah. Listen, I like Grease. I liked Wizard of Oz. You know, those are musicals.
What?
No, the music in this was awful.
But I saw more than the music, man. Like I just saw more than the music. I saw like the thought behind like the madness for two.
So deep.
I saw the folie à deux.
Yeah, no. It was pretty freaking bad, man. Yeah.
Okay, so Grumble gives me crap because as soon as Batman's name comes along, all of a sudden I'm so biased. Blah 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 blah. Folie à deux. But
He is a huge Batman fan, and anything Batman related, he's just gonna gush over and think it's the greatest movie ever made. But me, I love Batman, but to limits. It's just it's good. It's for what it is. I like it. But this, absolute crap. After about a half hour, I went to Grouch and I was like, I'm ready to check out. This movie's terrible. I don't like it.
I was like, if you're gonna get up, give me some popcorn and some banana cognac bits. And come back.
I could not believe what I was hearing. I was like, you want to stick through this? And he was like, yeah, I think it's pretty good. So, all right, so I sat down, I watched the rest of the movie, and I hated it from beginning to end. It's a horrible movie.
I know this is a 2-for-1, but we got to get to Smile 2. So
Wait,
in 30 seconds.
All right, okay. Well, I'm going to summarize.
You give it your best, and I tell you why I liked it, and you tell them
first,
why you
listen,
hated
I'll start off with the positives. I thought the acting, again, listen, I really enjoyed Joker 1. I thought it was really good. I give it like a 7.5. Pretty solid movie, entertaining. Even that, the reason why I don't give it any higher than a 7.5, it drags. It's a little slow. But overall, it was a really interesting character study. I enjoyed it. I kind of got behind the character. I liked him. In this one, same thing, but I liked, the acting was great, but there's no reason for me to support this character. This movie is a standalone movie, was crap. I can care less about Arthur Fleck. His acting was great, but he hardly had any dialogue. The first half of the movie, he hardly says anything. I can't get behind it. Dumb. The singing, hated it. Hated the songs in it. The way he's singing and dancing and hopping around, really whacked. Garbage. Hated it.
Hey man, 30 seconds are up, bro.
Go ahead. Why was this movie so great?
This movie was amazing. It was a masterpiece.
Wow.
All right, my 30 seconds are up.
No,
it was good because, first of all, okay, so I agree everything about Joker, and I actually feel that it did not need a sequel. If you're not going to introduce Batman,
right,
and it doesn't need a sequel.
Yeah.
That's truly how I felt. Okay, if Batman's not going to come into the picture, then just forget it. Forget Joker 2.
If you're not going to advance this character of the Joker, then what's the point of it?
What's the point of it? But what I enjoyed about it was how realistic it was. Okay? Because just like, I know we've had this conversation before. Like sometimes, because me and Grumble are like big time horror fans. And when it's based on a true story, sometimes the smallest little things that are not even supposed to scare you that bad are the ones that are like so scary because they're not over the top, right? They're not over the top. They're like, oh my God, it's based on a true story and the light flickered. Oh my God, right? It's not like, demon, because it's supposed it's based on a true story. So I saw it as that. Like, I'm what am I expecting from somebody that's in jail? I can't expect, a meteor to hit the jail and him to escape and then and just come up with this crazy story. I'm expecting the cops to treat him like crap, for him to be even crazier, and for him to be depressed, for him to go through all these things that he was going through. And I kind of actually enjoy that.
I agree that I do not mind seeing grounded reality movies, but at the same time, I don't want to see 2 hours of him getting butt raped, getting attacked in jail, and singing songs that darn.
But that was in his head.
It was all in his head. But I don't want to see what's in his head. I want to see what happens. I need to have these scenes have weight to them. If it's all in his head, what do I care? The scenes have to have weight. There was no weight to them. Who cares what's in his head? I can care less. The character now, to me, was uninteresting, uninspired, boring. I didn't give you two craps about Arthur
but
Fleck.
The other movie that we watched, Smile 2, half the movie was in her head. And
that's why I deduct points for that. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I played fair, yeah.
You owe me $5, bro. You're not fair at all. So that's the reason. All right, so my 30 seconds, that's the reason why I kind of liked it. And at the end of the movie, he actually dies, which was a little surprising. And I kind of like that whoever the new Joker is was inspired by Arthur Fleck. I thought it was a decent ending for that kind of movie. But at the end, Joker did not need a sequel if you're not going to introduce Batman.
Right, I agree. But I believe that it would have been much more interesting had they shown him escape from prison, do the prison for 5-10 minutes, have him get out, and now all these people want to join his group, and he becomes the nemesis Batman deserves. He's got like hundreds of followers. He's got all these people behind him, and they do all this crime spree. And at the very end of the movie, it's like, hey, we cannot handle this guy. We need help. And that's when Batman shows up. That would have been way better. More interesting. I don't want to see a Shawshank Redemption with the Joker. Literally, the entire movie, 90% of the movie is him in prison.
And I
did not expect that. I can care less. I hate prison movies. I don't want to see him get butt raped and all this other nonsense that happened in jail. No.
In my opinion, your premise sounds more interesting, but it would have made it more fake.
Not necessarily. Because listen, in this movie, he does escape. But
but what happens?
But what happens?
He gets caught.
He runs
right
like
away.
But he runs like a bitch because he didn't want to team up with these two other guys who were like, "Hey, we love you. Come back."
He's anemic.
No, it was terrible. No, he's like running away from his buddies. He's like, "We love you. Come back." He's like, "No, leave me alone." And he runs into a gutter somewhere, and then of course, then he runs a Harley Quinn, and then the police show up, and I hated it. It was a bad movie, very, very bad, incredibly disappointing. I hated it. That's why we in good faith cannot have an entire episode devoted to that garbage. And that is why we're now going to move on to Smile 2. Fuck that movie.
And Smile 2.
So anyway,
Smile 2, more like frowning the whole... I was frowning the whole time.
No. That's not true at all. No. It's
what?
No.
Unwatchable.
No. Unwatchable is Joker 2, not this movie. Okay. So I thought this movie starts off very strong, Smile 2, because it picks up 6 days after Smile 1. I love that. I love when movies, it's almost like the same movie, except like 4 hours long. Loved it. Excellent beginning, because if you remember in Smile 1, oh, by the way, Smile 1, I give that movie like a 7, 7.5, even maybe 8. Really 8? Solid. Yes, solid.
The producers are smiling, bro.
Yeah, no, I really liked it. I liked the premise. I thought it was a great movie, very original. I mean, you get some cliched stuff, but that's almost every horror movie.
Listen, I thought it was so good, and just like Joker, it did not deserve a sequel. Like, it was that good.
Yeah. Okay. No, I could be on board with that, because I mean, here is the problem I had. Well, I don't know if I'm getting the problem I had with the movie, but there was problems I had with this movie that are unavoidable because they almost have to establish certain things. It's almost like if you did a superhero movie twice now we got to see how Batman becomes Batman, and that's a problem I had with
I don't have a problem with that.
Smile 2 is we got to establish all of this lore all over again, and that kind of drags the movie down for me.
Yeah. So let's get to Smile 2.
Okay, so yeah, the movie begins. It's this. It picks up, like I said, picks up right after Smile 1, and this guy. The lore is that he needs to kill somebody in front of.
Somebody has to see.
Somebody has to see
Him
die in front of the demon. That's the premise. So somebody has to die in front of the guy who's infected so the demon can pass on to them. That's the premise. So he goes to this...
Which is pretty original.
Yeah, very original. I love the premise. Very, very good. To be honest, it kind of reminded me of It Follows, which I love also. I think It Follows is even better than Smile. But, yeah, so he goes to this gang's house. He kills this guy. And unfortunately, he accidentally kills the guy who witnesses this guy die. But fortunately, there's this little low-level supplier watches this happen. So he's all excited because now this guy is gonna he now is infected. So he's no longer a carrier or whatever. So he runs off, but he gets killed by a pickup, runs him over. So he's gone.
I like that. I thought that was one of my favorite parts.
Listen,
like the blood.
Dude,
that,
it creates like a
it
smile,
creates like a smile
on the road. I was already on board. I thought this movie is starting off freaking great. I love it so far. 10 out of 10 beginning for me. So, but it kind of goes downhill after that. So then what happens is this drug dealer's low-level supplier or drug dealer, he is friends with this singer who's basically like Lady Gaga, except...
I thought I was watching Joker 3.
Yeah, it's swear this broad looks just like Lady Gaga, except way hotter. You know, way prettier, way younger.
I thought she looked like Justin Bieber.
No, she was pretty hot. Other than the hair, she's got to let her hair grow.
She had shorter hair than me.
And then, so they establish...
And then the nonsense starts, bro.
Yeah, so here we go. So they got to establish this singer, and they got to show her dancing and with her troupe. And
like I said, Joker 3, bro.
Yeah, and it starts to drag for me. Here we go. Now it's got to drag. And they got to establish little things. Little things scare her. She starts pulling her hair out, and it's like, okay, that's kind of terrifying. Not really. But so it's little stuff that's like supposed to scare us.
I was terrified when my hair started falling out. I'm scarred for life. Yeah. Help!
And Propecia does not work.
Propecia! Help! You lied! Give me back my $24.99.
And so funny too is like this whole movie is she's constantly drinking water too. She's constantly drinking water. And I don't know. Matter if they have some kind of water deal with the.
That's a promotion and a half.
Yeah,
that's a product placement if I ever seen one.
Yeah, so
that's like the Skittles from Shazam, bro.
Yeah. So the whole movie is what happens to at the beginning of the movie. She had a boyfriend. She's a famous singer, like I said, like Lady Gaga type. She has a boyfriend, and evidently she was high on dope. And her and a boyfriend get in a car accident. The boyfriend dies, she lives, and now she's like scarred because of that accident. Everyone's kind of like, oh, how did that happen? It's kind of suspicious. So she's living with that guilt that her boyfriend died while she was driving. That's what she said. I don't know if she was driving, but she was driving. So
who was driving?
I thought they said she was driving.
No.
But when they show the flashback,
yeah, he was driving.
He was driving. But I thought they said she was driving. Okay. So then, so a lot of this is here's the problem I had with this movie. Very similar to the original in that they need to establish that little by little she starts losing her mind. So
that became very boring.
It did because we already know the premise. We already know this is his demon and how he has these things that he does little by little. You start losing your mind, you start imagining stuff, and it's all in her head. This never actually happens. Like there's a scene where she has to have like a photo shoot, and she's meeting all of these fans, and there's this one crazy guy who has like all these blisters on his face. He's all effed up, and he kind of loses his stuff, and so they have to take him away. Police show up or security and drags him off. So later on, a couple of days later, this guy shows up at her apartment, and then you see his clothes laid on the ground. You know it's because she recognized the T-shirt he had on. And then a couple minutes later, all the clothes is gone, the T-shirt's gone. It's all in her head. because that's how they kind of establish that this is all in her head. It's not actually happening. So that kind of gets boring quick. A lot of it's all in her head, and I don't like that fact that it's in her head. Rather, just I don't know. It just that kind of took me out of the movie a little. But there was a couple of funny scenes between Grouch and I, where they said constantly in this movie, she's constantly downing these bottles of water because she was a drug addict, and they told her, listen, if you ever have an urge to do drugs, hit some heroin or meth, what the fuck she's doing, I don't know. Drink a bottle of water.
If you're thinking about cutting your hair again, just drink some water.
Yeah. And so she's just downing water, constantly downing water. And there was a scene, so they just keep showing these constant events that are all in her head. And at one point now, she's in her apartment. And now her dance troupe shows up. And there's like 20 of them. And they're like kind of like not dancing, but every time she looks at them, they're moving closer and closer and closer. And they have they posing like in In Vogue video from Madonna. They're striking a pose.
Strike a pose.
Yeah, and they kind of move closer and closer until they're all on top of her. And then they're like beating her and pulling her hair out. And this one guy gets half his arm down her throat. And so then,
I wanted to try that on Miss Grouch.
Let me know how that goes. So then
she won't be smiling.
So then the next day, she's just seen unconscious in her apartment, and then she's like, "We do know one thing: you were severely dehydrated." And I look at Grouch. I was like, "Bro, this one thing they established in this movie is no freaking way she's dehydrated. Every scene she's in, she's downing water.
Oh my God, I've never drank that much water in my life.
Yeah,
let me tell you that.
Yeah,
and she's dehydrated.
Right. I mean, we've had a bunch of beers, wine, but water? No, I don't
even know what water tastes like.
So that I thought was so funny. We were like, "Yo, bitch, maybe you should just change your brand of water. Maybe try Avion or Zephyr Hills, man.
Zephyr Hills, bro.
Because obviously, cutting it for rehydrating you.
Water she's drinking is dehydrating. Yeah. It's the opposite. Yeah. So freaking insane.
Yeah.
The movie's so whack, bro. Oh, I can't stand it. No, I didn't like it.
Listen, I thought it was pretty good. No. Some of the jump scares could have been better. Like at one point,
what jump scare?
At one point, she has her best friend, Megan.
Gemma.
No.
Gemma, yeah.
Gemma. It was a Gemma. So her best friend Gemma shows up at her apartment, and she's in bed, and all of a sudden she wakes up, and Gemma's smiling. That smile, that evil grin.
I like the whole. I think that's the best thing they got going for them, right? It's the smile. Yeah. I think the smile is so.
It's very creepy, bro.
Yeah, I think it's so.
But listen, here's a scene I thought could have been really cool. She wakes up, Gemma is smiling with this crazy grin, and you're like, "Oh my, what's gonna happen next?" All of a sudden, look at the fucking like headlights coming at her. That was so whacked. That was really bad. Nothing scary about that. And she wakes up. She's late for some rehearsal or whatever. There's a scene, too, is toward the end of the movie. What happens now is, so Sky is, because she got so dehydrated after that attack, they're filling her up with fluids, I guess.
I'd be seeing things, too, if I was dehydrated.
Yeah. So she's in the hospital bed, and she's getting IV'd because she's low on fluids, So the mama is there, and then all of a sudden, the mama takes out
Try Fiji, bitch.
Yeah, the mama breaks a mirror, and she takes out a shard of the mirror, and she's stabbing herself in her throat multiple times, and then her eye.
I had a problem with all that stuff.
Wait, I thought it was cool, but the CGI was weak. I did not like it. It looks so fake. I mean, it's 2024. I know we rely heavily on CGI, but couldn't you do like a practical effects? I thought it looked kind of bad, the CGI. I was not a fan. It looked very fake to me. It kind of took me out of it a little.
I think the movie lost me a lot. Where like, what's in her mind? What's real? Like it just, a lot of it just didn't make sense. To be honest, my favorite scene of the movie, but I think I've seen this before, is somewhere in another movie, is where Gemma's driving the car and Gemma calls her. I think I've seen that before.
Dude, I've seen so many movies.
Right?
It's so cliched, yeah.
And so she knows that...
So what happens is, after she basically... Yeah, so Her mother apparently stabs herself in the face multiple times in the throat. But reality, Sky was the one who did it to her because she...
Or the demon or whatever.
Yeah, so all of a sudden Sky has a shard of glass in her hand. So now she realizes she's the one that killed her own mother. So now she has to freaking take off. So she runs off, and it happens to come by was Gemma, her best friend. And as they're driving off in their SUV, all of a sudden she gets a call from Gemma. And what a coincidence. It just happened to be driving with her at the time. She goes, "Oh, how you been? I haven't talked to you in a year. How's it going?"
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Gemma is a bully sitting next to her, and instead of just playing it off, being cool, like, "All right, you got the wrong number, bye," and hanging up, she's like, "Gemma, what do you mean you're Gemma?" And all of a sudden, yeah, now the fake Gemma knows the jig is up.
And then, but then at the end, it's all in her head, and she's the one driving. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like,
yeah.
She's the one that's driving.
Yeah.
And she's causing like 5 accidents, which there's nothing unpeculiar about that, because, that's how girls drive.
Yeah. This broad is driving all over the freaking road.
I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything.
Nothing to see
crazy.
here. This is typical woman driving. Real quick,
that's how my wife drives. And all I do is smile, just like the smile too.
That's basically par for the course.
I'm like, "Hi, baby, you're doing great." Yeah, you don't have to stop at the red light. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, good job merging on the highway, honey.
Stop means stop the car, right?
It means kind of slow down.
She thinks yellow means accelerate.
Yeah. Yellow means gun it.
Baby, you're a mile away. I understand gunning it, like if you're like 5 seconds away from the light.
It's a bad sense of direction.
Baby, we have a minivan. We don't have a Corvette. We're not gonna make it. These little trolls in the back.
Yeah.
They're gonna go. Yeah, they're gonna go flying when you hit the brakes really hard, bro. Oh. Anyways, that's how girls drive.
Yeah. So
that's how girls ride bikes.
Yeah. This is why I kind of give it low score is. Apparently Gemma is driving this SUV, but all of a sudden, Sky, she comes to, and she's the one driving, and she made up the whole Gemma in her mind. Like, how? We can't establish just like that. Oh yeah, Gemma was driving. How does she drive? How does she in the driver's seat?
Yeah,
they can't. They have to establish. I didn't like that at all. It's all in her head, and you're telling she's looking around, and she's not driving. It's just I thought that was really. I hate when they don't establish things properly.
Listen, that scene was too long for just at the end to be like, "Oh, I almost hit someone."
Yeah.
Like, she should have hit half the town, bro.
Right. So ultimately what happens is Gemma was a figment of her imagination, or the demon.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost the same as Joker. Everything's happening in her head.
Yeah.
You just happen to be biased because it's not Batman.
So what ends up happening is, now she met this guy also, forgot to mention, there was this guy who knows all about all of this lore and stuff.
I found out whack too, bro.
Yeah. There's this guy named Lewis or something, and his
name was Luis or something.
Yeah, and he had a cousin or something who was infected, and
I think it was his brother.
Yeah.
His brother,
and he had all this research, so of course he's on top of this shit, and he says, "Hey, I know how to save you.
Yeah.
What we'll do is we'll kill you."
All he did was Google, bro.
Yeah, he Googled this shit. So he said, all I need is to kill you for like 30 seconds, and that should be sufficient to bring you back, and the demon's going to leave you.
By the way, he has an associate's degree from Palm Beach State Community
Palm
College,
Beach Community College.
He ain't no magna cum laude.
So
he's going to kill you, and you're going to trust him to bring you back,
Oh.
but he can't even turn in 5 assignments in a row? No
So
way,
this is
bro.
why I thought this movie was pretty bad. It's so bad. At one point, he takes some, and he goes to this, it's a food locker or something, which it's freezing in there.
This is towards the end, right?
Yeah, it's the end of the movie. So he goes to this storage room, which is like...
No, he says, "I'll be right back."
Yeah, no, well, I got to get to that. So he goes, he goes, like I said, he goes, "We're going to kill you for 30 seconds. That's it. You're going to die for 30 seconds. No problem. So just lay here, and this gurney, whatever." And he goes, "Oh, I forgot something. I'll be right back."
I'll be right back. Like, she didn't just drive 40 minutes to get to you. Like, you weren't expecting her. Like, you didn't know what you had to do.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't, had everything planned since day one. And all of a sudden, you finally have it right there, and you're like, I'll be right back. I forgot something.
Oh, I was so like bad. I was, are you serious? This guy's not coming back. He's like, I'm sorry. I was like, where are you going? What do you need to get? I'll get it for you.
And the worst part, like, if, in your mind, like, if you truly did forget something, it's something minor, like, oh,
right.
I just forgot to turn on the switch or something.
Yeah.
But he was gone for the rest of the movie. I never saw him again.
See this guy again. It's so bad.
Like,
bro.
he forgot it in New Jersey or something. Bro.
Yeah.
He forgot.
That's like such cliched garbage, man. That's why I got a little low score. I'm like, oh, but I forgot something.
What about, bro?
You gotta be kidding me,
bro. The drug dealer dies. She threw up. The cops didn't DNA the vomit.
Right. Yeah.
There's no cops. There's finally one cop shows up and he like tries to run into the crazy home.
Well, listen. There was a scene. This is why I'm going to give it a somewhat decent score. Is there was a scene where she goes to her drug dealer and she's going to supply some Vicodin, and the guy is out of his mind. She just probably thinks he's strung out on some coke or something. So he takes a plate, a 35-pound plate, and he starts bashing his face multiple times. That was a great freaking scene. And every time he smacks his face is more and more distorted and effed up. That I thought was a really cool. I really enjoyed that. And then she sees this and she pukes on the ground, and then she immediately starts Googling, can you get DNA from puke? Throw. Of course,
and nothing comes out of that.
Yeah.
Cops
no, exactly.
Her.
I'm like
it's so
bro,
stupid,
in like 2
bro.
or 3 days, she should be swarming police.
She should be in jail cell with Joker.
Yeah.
Come on. Bro.
But again, maybe that was in her head. That's a convenient plot point. Oh, that was in her head, guys.
So she threw up, but she didn't throw up?
Yeah, so that was in her head. That's the problem. If it contradicts with the plot line, it was in her head.
It was in her head. That's it. Yeah. Simple as that, bro.
Yeah.
And by the way, you're not even listening to the Grumble and Grouch show. It's in your head. If you don't like this show, this never happened, bro. Tune in to the next one.
Bad dream.
You're tripping.
Yeah.
Seriously.
But if you like it, please subscribe. And join us on Patreon.
Skittles.
Support.
This was the worst movie of all time.
No, not at all. No.
Listen, the only time I smiled is when the credits came up, bro.
No.
I smiled because I was like,
multiple
yes.
times.
I can
wait
go
a minute.
home
I also
now.
want to say is
I can go back to my cave.
I thought this girl was very attractive. That's what had me going.
For like 5 minutes.
No.
Half the movie she had snot running out her nose. She had bags in her eyes. Mm-hmm. She looked like Justin Bieber.
No.
Yeah,
She was pretty fine.
She's fine?
That carried the movie for me. I have to admit. Okay. But anyways, the movie finally ends with she goes to the doctor and she's supposed to be killed for 30 seconds.
Doctor? The guy with the associate's degree, bro.
Yeah, listen, he had a minor degree at some unknown university.
He worked at a hospital, night shift.
So yeah, she was supposed to perform a surgery, and then he goes,
no surgery, dude. You're just supposed to kill her. I can kill her, bro.
Yeah, kill her, but then the tricky part is to bring her back. That's
Bring her back.
Yeah. So then he has to go take a dump or something. He goes, hey, I'll be right back. I forgot something.
In the bathroom.
He walks off. So then all of a sudden, now all of a sudden she sees herself, like a demonic self, on the ceiling.
Oh.
Yeah.
This could have been a really good scene.
I thought it was pretty cool.
No. But it could have been.
No, I thought it was pretty cool. And she sees herself on the ceiling when she dies. When her boyfriend dies in the car accident, and she sees herself from that accident, and like crying and
again, she caused the accident. We find out that she caused the accident.
It was because of Sky caused the accident. You killed her boyfriend.
Because it's always smart to grab somebody's wheel when they're going 90
they're driving
down.
The guy's driving at 80 miles per hour on this one main road in the dark.
And it's always smart. Yeah. I mean, you're proving him right when he's calling you crazy. You grab the wheel. Okay. Start her.
Yeah. So they drive off the road, and that's when so she basically she gets effed up. She doesn't die, but her boyfriend dies, and now she is seeing herself from that accident on the ceiling. And then she unbuckles her belt and lands on top of her, breaks the table, and they're rolling around the ground. You can't get away from me. And then
you sounded like Gargamel, bro.
You damn Smurfs.
I'm gonna get you. This is the last thing I do.
No. And then all of a sudden she locks her her own self, her demonic self, locks her in like this little room, and then she's like, break a leg, bang, she locks the door, and then she's on stage, and her mom.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
And
bro.
her
What
mom
was
is
real?
there. Right.
What was
her,
it?
her mom
What's
is
in
her mom is in the audience.
I'm watching Joker 2 again.
Yeah, they're all in the audience. Her
I even
mom's
saw
still
Batman.
alive.
I saw Batman in the audience, bro.
Yeah, I saw the Joker sitting there. I was like, what the fuck?
Lady Gaga was like, "Yo, that's my twin."
Yeah, and then you see her mother there. All of these people that she supposedly killed, they're all dead, and they're all there, and it's like, oh, sing and smile.
And she's like, "Thriller,
Yeah,
thriller night."
And then she doesn't know what to do, and then all of a sudden she sees herself again in front of her, and then she's wearing the same exact outfit, the same exact look, and then she puts her fingers on her scars in her belly, and then she tears her belly apart. And this, to be honest, I think it was one of the best scenes of the movie. And then this huge couple of legs come out, and this freaking basically monster comes out of her stomach.
Man, I thought I was watching Ghostbusters, man. That looked like Slimer.
I thought it was pretty good. I liked it. I think the monster comes out, and the monster basically tears her mouth apart. This I thought was kind of, the CGI was awful, because literally her mouth spread like 3 feet wide without tearing. Come on, dude. Ridiculous.
Hey, Miss Grouch's mouth can do that. Miss Grouch, a shout out to you. Don't say I never talk about you on the show.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty good, man. How many feet?
Delete that, by the way.
Oh, that's
Anyways,
damn, bro.
That's my foot, bro.
No,
I
so I
got
thought it was silly how the mouth opens like 3 feet wide and without tearing. CGI was that's one of the problems I have with this movie. The CGI was
That's it. I had a problem with the writing, the acting, the
acting, I think, was
CGI,
fine.
the production, the everything, bro. The product placement, everything.
product placement.
Yeah, man.
No.
They need the Sani or Sefri Hills there, bro. That water did not hydrate anybody.
No,
I didn't like it.
Listen,
Unwatchable.
no, I thought the first one I give like a 7 or 8. This one I'm gonna give it a 5.
You already gave your rating already?
I'm giving it a 5.
Oh,
yeah, it's
man.
okay. It's not. I've heard a lot of critics saying it's a really good movie, great movie.
I heard it was better than the first.
Yeah,
That's all
people
I
are
ever
saying
heard.
it's better. No, not at all.
That's why you can't trust people. You got to
Yeah.
wait and listen
Yeah.
to the Grumble and
Yeah.
Grouch review.
we give it to you like it is, you know. And I really thought it was a 5. It was okay. Don't run out and see it in theaters. You can watch it at home. Not that good, but again, it's okay. I thought what I liked about it is it's similar to the original. They stick to the lore. It was entertaining. The jump scares could have been better. The ending could have been better. But like I said, overall I give it a 5. It's an okay movie.
Actually, okay, so my rating, it was gonna be like a 2.5.
2.5.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. But hold on. That's not my final rating.
more
That's
halves.
not my final
keep
rating.
doing the channel.
Yeah, I have it in my mind. I was gonna give it a 2.5, right? But what happened was, I really liked the ending, so I'm gonna give it a 3. I thought this was my thinking, right? My thinking was the demon finally realized somebody found a loophole to how to get rid of me, and I'm not gonna let him do that. And he has the perfect host, or the demon has the perfect host, to never let that happen again. So he lets a multitude of people, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, watch her kill herself. So now the demon can live on forever. And I think that brings it up to a 3.
Yeah. Listen, the very end of the movie.
So I give it a
like
3.
Like we're saying is, what happens to the people that are carriers is not viewed by only they can see it. No one else can see it. So at the very end of the movie, she's literally singing in front of like a couple thousand people on stage,
Right.
And then and then you can see her smile.
She's like, Thriller, Thriller.
So all of a sudden she smiles. So you know now the demon is inside of her. Now she is like the carrier. Now she's gonna.
She has Slimer inside of her already.
So now you just hear her beating herself, and I wish they had shown. I don't know why they didn't show.
Oh,
it.
that was weak. That was
Yeah.
truly. That's probably one of the weakest.
Yeah, I agree.
scenes in the movie.
Show us. That would have been so cool. They just show. But and at the very end, they see like the microphone sticking out of her eye.
That's weak.
Yeah, I agree. But literally thousands of people, especially little girls, all witnessed this. So now they're all carriers.
Yeah,
that's a great freaking end, bro.
So I give it another extra 0.5.
So you give it a
3?
4? You give it a 3?
3.
Okay.
Did I say 2.5?
I say 3.5.
3.5?
Yeah.
So I give it a 4.
Okay. No, I agree. I thought it was we're pretty close on that. I give it a 5.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't recommend this to anyone. I think if you enjoy, like I enjoyed Smile 1, I thought it was very original, very nice. You know what? Just be happy with that. Same thing with Joker. You know what? They didn't introduce Batman. No need to watch the sequel.
No.
Just hold on to that memory and love Joker 1 and live for another day.
Yeah.
Until Batman Part 2 comes out.
So
and on that note.
So there it is. And I hope to see you guys next time on
the Grumble and Grouchy Show.